Hey, this is Scott Spears with WGH Talk Radio, and as you can see, my guest is no stranger to anybody. She is the 40th Treasurer of the United States, Mary Ellen Withrow, but where we are is very unique. We are in Green Camp, Ohio, a town, city. What would you call this, Mary Ellen? What is Green Village?
It is a village.
It's a village. Mm-hmm. I think population probably ranges from 500 people to 1,000, somewhere in that neighborhood.
That might be a little stretch.
Little highball there. So you get the idea of how many people are here in Green Camp, Ohio. But we are broadcasting from the Berwick Pizza Shop. They have all kinds of great stuff here. But where are we broadcasting from? The Berwick Pizza Shop is connected to a bank that has been here for many, many years. I worked at this bank for a period of time when it was Farmers State Bank. Mary Ellen did business at this bank when it was open, and we are broadcasting from the original vault of this bank here in Green Camp, Ohio. At one point it was National City Bank, it was the Ohio State Bank, it was Farmers State Bank. Went through a lot of hands, but here we are. Mary Ellen, we've broadcast from a lot of places. You've dressed up as a groundhog. We've been to a root beer stand. We've been to pizza shops. We've been to studios. Never have we broadcast from a vault. And I could not think of a more apt place to be sitting with the Treasurer of the United States.
That's right. It fits.
It fits.
Uh-huh.
What's it like to be in a vault? For the people who can only see us and the shelf behind us, describe what you see in this old vault.
Well, there's a little bit of space. I mean, actually, your office isn't quite this big.
No.
And we don't have New York City behind us, which I kind of miss, but it's an interesting background here with glass marbles and so forth. But, and they probably kept the records in there and probably had other cases where they had records in here, but it's a nice little room.
How does this compare with the vaults you worked in when you were county treasurer and state treasurer?
Well, my vault was actually like a machine as county treasurer. It was about the size of a big refrigerator. And then the vault when I was state treasurer was big. It was the size of a room, much bigger than this. And then U.S. treasurer, I visited all the Federal Reserves, which were my banks. And I said I wanted to sign money in all of the Federal Reserves, and they said, oh, people won't be interested in that. They were lined up out the doors for it, and so it was a big success. We did it in all 12 of the Federal Reserves.
And we should mention, before I forget the name, but a man who was at this bank for years and years, did business here, a Mr. Haberman. His pictures are on the wall, if you make it over here, and your husband Norm did business with Mr. Haberman.
Yes, he borrowed money, and I remember Mr. Haberman said, how did you get her? And he said, well, it wasn't because I had any money.
So it was all personality.
Yeah.
It was all
well,
right. It's interesting, and we should mention this on a side note here. It's interesting how things come together. We're in a vault. You were the treasurer. We're talking about your dealings here at this bank with your husband, Norm. Today, September the 4th, would have been your 77th wedding anniversary.
Yeah, that's right, yes.
Did not know that until we got in the car.
Well, I woke up this morning and it said September 4th. I said, oh, that was when we got married. And I hadn't really paid much attention to it, and then I kept thinking about it the rest of the day.
Well, now here's something what was your wedding day like?
Well, it was very nice. I was married in my church, my Methodist church in Kirkpatrick, and it was just my family. And I had a girlfriend of mine sang, and somebody played the piano. I can't remember who. and then we had the reception back at my home, and then we took off we went to Cleveland to the air show for our honeymoon.
Now, did you have a matron of honor?
Yes, it was Norman's sister.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Norman had my brother.
As the best man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And your parents were there, and his parents?
Yeah, everybody, and the brothers and sisters and everybody, yeah.
Who married you? Do you remember?
Yes, the minister, he was a nice guy. He was up in years. I can't remember his name right now, but yeah, he was probably at least 70-some. He married us, and yeah.
What do you remember? What have you been thinking about today on this 77th anniversary of your anniversary?
I've been thinking about Norman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, before we go on to more about the banking here, you were married for 77. This is 77, but how long were you married to Norman?
73.
73.
Mm-hmm.
What should people know about him?
Well, he was he was really interested in what I wanted to do, which he encouraged me to do the things that I did, and was very supportive, which made all the difference in the world as far as my life. He had 3 jobs. I always said he farmed our farm, and he worked at the bank, and then he had at the post office, and he had a rural route then for several years, and then he had a stump remover that he bought, and he said that took the weight off a little bit.
Of all the anniversaries you celebrated in 73 years, was there something that you did on your anniversaries?
Well, we usually went out to eat. Yeah. I remember one year he forgot it was our anniversary, and he was getting ready for some big golf outing that he was in charge of, and totally forgot our anniversary.
Now, did you give it to him for that?
Oh yeah.
I bet so. But did you guys do gifts on anniversaries?
Not really.
Not really.
No. He gave me a lot of gifts, but I don't remember getting anything on my anniversary. Yeah.
Well, he was definitely a fun man.
Yes.
Good guy.
Yeah.
Good guy. So it's nice to be here on the 77th anniversary. One thing, we've told this story before, but since we're sitting in a vault, and this is an old vault, this vault, I bet it's at least 100 years old, at least.
Yeah.
Mary Ellen, tell the story. You were running for county treasurer, and the campaigning that the opposition, the man used against you in regard to the vault.
Oh, he said I wouldn't be able to open the vault.
Yeah. Now, this is when you ran for county treasurer.
Yeah, right. And there was always some big deal when I ran for any office. They always said something about you, try to make you look bad, you know.
Right.
And there had not been any woman county treasurer. No woman had run before for county treasurer. And after I was elected, 2 of the women that worked in there said, we never thought there'd be a woman county treasurer. Isn't that interesting?
That is interesting.
Yeah.
So you were the first female county treasurer?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I told you I couldn't get a credit card in my name when I was Marion County treasurer.
Right.
I mean, it's ridiculous what women had to go through.
Well, the punchline to that story is interesting because they used that to campaign against you.
Yeah.
You end up winning. Mm-hmm. And one day, what happened?
Well, the gal that cleaned the courthouse decided to wash down the front of the vault, and it caused the tumblers to freeze, and I couldn't open the vault. And we laughed about that. We had to call in the guy that worked on things like that to get it open.
Now, when you went in that morning and couldn't get the vault open, did that campaigning cross your mind?
Yeah, oh sure.
I bet so.
And you know, then after, well, in fact, the girl that just resigned from county treasurer gave me some materials that were mine that were in the vault.
Really?
Things that I had signed. Yeah, different business things, you know.
Does your Guinness Book of World Records signature look like your signature back in those days when you were county treasurer?
Yes,
So that was always been...
Yeah, my signature always looked the same, yeah.
You have very good penmanship. Is that something you just learned in school, or did you work on that?
I worked on it in school. When I was in the 3rd grade, we'd have these exercises where you do this, you know, in between lines, and then you go like this. And I just loved doing that. That was one of my favorite things. I think that was in like the 2nd or 3rd grade.
You were preparing even then?
Yes.
You were getting ready?
I had no idea what I was going to be doing with that. But no, it paid off.
It certainly did pay off
Yeah.
all those years later.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to do, because last night we were taping in the studio, and we just happened upon the name Gordon Gee, and I want you to tell that story again, because it's such an interesting story. But I'm going to throw some names at you from your career, and just kind of, if anything hits you about these people, whatever hits you, let us know. But let's start with Gordon Gee. What is the story involving Gordon Gee?
You know, I really liked him, and his daughter that passed away had a boyfriend, and he was a real good friend of mine, and he would do all sorts of things for me. He brought in the basketball team to my office when I was U.S. Treasurer, and I can't remember all the things he did, but he did a lot of things for me. He was so nice, and I had a lot of conversations with Gordon Gee, and then we were having a really bad election. I think it would have been the election of '98. The Democratic Party almost lost their party in that election because there wasn't enough people voted. Almost, they did have, but it was pretty close. But anyway, I called up Gordon Gee and asked him to run for governor. And it was a little bit, he went through a few words, I can't remember what all, but then he said, "Oh, I don't think so." And I just, he would have been a great governor, yeah.
Well, you know, and I found out today he is 81, so you never know.
Yeah.
You know, who knows? He's still spry, and he's coming back to Ohio State, so who knows?
Yeah.
Vice President Al Gore, the man who swore you in, what comes to your mind when you think of him?
Well, he was, well, you know, he was running in 1988, and John Glenn had run before that, and of course John Glenn didn't have a very good campaign. It all ended kind of where he was concerned about money and everything. So then when this 1988 election started, I thought, I'm not going to get involved until after the primary. But then we heard that Al Gore was speaking in Cleveland, and we went to see him, and I said, I've got to support him. I believe everything that he says. I believe the same thing. And so then I supported Al Gore, and we became really good friends. And I think he's terrific. You know, I just thought he was terrific.
When it came time to have somebody swear you in on March the 1st, 1994 as Treasurer of the United States, why did you choose him?
Well, because I felt that he was the reason I was getting the job. he was so supportive of me and had talked to the president about me. I heard him even talking to the president about me, saying how I had supported him and helped him. And yeah, it was, at first they were going to have Lloyd Benson swear me in. I said, I want Al Gore. And so that's how it ended up that way.
Former Governor of Ohio, Dick Celeste.
Yeah.
What are your memories of him?
Well, he was a terrific governor, I thought. He was a tremendous help to me, and when I ran, he paid for I only had one television spot, but he paid for it for me, or I wouldn't have had that. And I don't think I would have won without that television spot.
What kind of guy was he?
He was a nice guy. He had his interests in other women, which was on everybody's mind a little bit, but he was a good guy. He was smart, real smart guy. Yeah.
Former Governor Ted Strickland.
Yes. Now, I was not there when he was governor. I was in Washington. So I can't really tell you that I liked him as a person because I had known him for so long. But to tell you how it was being there when he was governor, I can't tell you because I wasn't there. Yeah.
Former mayor of Marion, Jack Kellogg.
Yes, I like Jack Kellogg a lot. He put up a sign that said I lived in Marion, which I was surprised he did that, and I thought that was pretty nice. But he was always very good to me. Mm-hmm.
And of course, somebody you go way back with, former Mayor Scott Schertzer.
Yes, my goodness, yes, he worked for me, and I knew him for a long time, and he had a long career. Yeah.
The late John Glenn.
Yes, that was another great guy, I'll tell you. He was one of a million. I wish he was there now. We need him.
Why was he, here's a famous astronaut.
Yeah.
Can win elections in Ohio, a battleground state in those days, as a senator. He could never get a presidential campaign going strong. Why was that?
I don't know. It was, you know what I remember is when DeWine ran against him, and that football, well, it was like a football helmet on him that really was nasty commercial. I don't know. I can't answer that.
When we look, what about Metzenbaum, former senator?
Well, I always supported John Glenn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Metzenbaum was very good to me, though, but John Glenn ran against him, and I always supported John Glenn.
Metzenbaum, I think we just went back recently, was at your confirmation hearing, and was very positive.
Oh, yeah, he was, and John Glenn was too.
Now, as far as any other Ohio governors, are there any that stick out besides Strickland and Celeste to you? Gilligan.
Yes, Gilligan got me started with the License Bureau. Yeah, I called him up and asked for the License Bureau because I wanted to get my name known. I had run for a clerk of courts and got beat. And I said, I want to get my name known, and the License Bureau is the place to do that. And actually, it really worked well because I got 64% of the vote when I ran for county treasurer then. Yeah.
As we sit in a vault here, where obviously a lot of money has passed through this vault here in Green Camp. What is it about money for you that's so interesting?
Well, I fell in love with money when I had the License Bureau. I don't know what it was, but I was just fascinated with it. Yeah.
When you saw the first money produced with your name on it, what did you think?
Oh, I tell you, I got emotional. I was walking in the Bureau of Engraving and Printing, and they had this sign there that said, today the money has the names of Lloyd Benson and Mary Ellen Withrow. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's something else. I'd been there when I was 5 years old and watched them print money. Never had any idea that I'd have my name on it, you know. And then all those years later, I'm in charge of it.
You know, a vault, which is where we're sitting right now in Green Camp, is where people keep secrets. What they say, we're going to keep it in the vault. What is the secret to a successful career? Because you've had that.
Well, you know, that's a hard thing to answer. There's so many things that you have to deal with. I loved running for office and talking to people. I did. That was one of my favorite things after I got over being nervous. And that I got over being nervous at the Marion County Fair. This guy was running for state representative and I was running for clerk of courts, and he would introduce me to people and I would talk to them, and I got over it doing that, and then it was a lot easier after that.
What is the secret to a happy life? Because you've had a great, long, happy life.
I have. I've had a wonderful life. The secret is to, I think, a positive attitude, number one. I don't know how to answer that otherwise, but I like people, and I like to talk to people, and I like to do things for people. I would think when I could accomplish something for somebody, I was really happy about it, you know.
What is, because we're talking about money, what is the biggest difference you've witnessed in people who don't have much? We just did this article yesterday about, is it money or love? Which is more popular? It was on the front page of the USA Today. What is the difference between people who don't have much money and people who have a lot?
Well, if they're a good person, it doesn't matter. I think there's good people that don't have much money, and there's good people that have a lot of money. But it's when they treat people fairly and are nice to people. That's what I like to see, and I think that's what's important.
You know, a fantastic life. You have a museum at the Marion County Historical Society. Mm-hmm. There's a room at Harding where you went to high school, named in your honor, the community room, where a picture hangs on the wall of you. In 100 years, when somebody's going through your museum, or somebody walks by that picture or the name on the room at Harding, what's it important to know about the lady who achieved that, the lady in the picture in the museum?
Well, I think probably the thing that I'd want underneath it is I was treasurer at all 3 levels of government, and I was the only person that did that. Maybe there'll be somebody do it later on, but nobody has done it yet, and it's hard to do. Yeah.
There's only one first.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what does that mean to you to have been the first to do that?
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. As far as women, in your career, being the first woman on the Elgin School Board, as we just talked about, first female county treasurer in Marion, have women made the strides that they need to?
Well, they're constantly working on it. I think there's still room to improve. Of course, we haven't had a woman governor in Ohio. We haven't had a woman president, and we've almost made it there with Hillary, and I think she would have been a great president. Well, we'll have to wait and see, but there's still room for us to improve.
Did you think that you would see a woman president before now?
I thought I would, yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But what do you think has held it back?
It's hard to answer that.
Something.
Yeah.
Something.
Well, it's attitude, people's attitude about things. They think they don't always think women can handle things as well as men, and you know.
This is a very important question because right now, a lot of people don't want to run for office. We have a lot of people running unopposed in the county of Marion, where you started, in the city of Marion. What advice would you give to somebody to be a successful candidate? Because I think when I ask people, why don't you run? They say, I can't win. Okay, so from somebody who won a lot, what's the secret to winning? What do you got to do?
Well, you got to work really hard at it and do everything you can to try to have people know your name. And that's, when I ran, a lot of people told me I couldn't win. And I felt that there was a lot of times I felt like I wasn't going to win. I mean, that was... I remember somebody pulled up beside me in a car and said, well, maybe next time you'll make it. And I thought, well, I'm going to make it this time.
People were that brazen about it.
Well, yeah. And I remember going in a restroom and having a big cry after somebody made some nasty remark at an event. And all my friends came in the restroom and they say, oh, forget about that. They don't know what they're talking about, you know. But your nerves are, there's so much, your nerves on edge all the time, yeah.
When you are the Treasurer of the United States, what was the most stressful moment you had in that 6.5-year period?
Oh, let me think. Well, probably when the $100 bill was released all over the world, we were all on edge, Yeah. Because they had it stored in places where they had never stored the money before, because it was all done on the same day, and the Secret Service were very nervous, and so I was nervous, yeah.
Also, I remember you telling me you were there during Y2K.
Yes, and I was in Florida and I was on call. And I remember thinking, we didn't know what was going to happen, because we were afraid that everybody was going to pull money out of their accounts and ask for more money at the bank, and we wouldn't have it, And so it didn't happen that way. It wasn't any big deal. And you never know, though, what people are going to do.
Absolutely. Now, you were also there during an important part, because you helped design the Olympic coin in '96, and there was an Olympic bombing, unfortunately.
Yes. Yeah. And I intended to go to the Olympics because I had sold all the Olympic coins all over the world, and so I was going to go to the event, and then I decided not to go. Some of my staff was there. They said it wasn't much fun.
Well, that kind of put a damper on it, I would imagine, the whole
Well, yeah,
the whole
they came home and said, you didn't miss much.
Well, we want to get some of this great Berwick pizza, but we're going to bring Terry Tackett in here. We're going to take a quick break, talk to Terry and Mary Ellen for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to have some great pizza here at the Berwick, live from the vault, with Mary Ellen Withrow in Green Camp, Ohio. We'll be right back. Hey, this is Scott Spears with WGH Talk, and we are celebrating the 11th anniversary, and we're having a great time. The whole gang's here. 40th Treasurer of the United States, Mary Ellen Withrow, Superfan Buckeye Guy, Chad Clark, Fred Malone, Bob Welsh, Linda Sims, Matt Morgan, Christian Pearson, Terry Tackett. Even my mother is here. My goodness gracious, the whole gang is here, and we are celebrating. We thank the L&D Cake Shop for this beautiful, beautiful cake. Buckeye Guy, are you happy to be here?
And I'm so happy to be here, you wouldn't believe it.
Bring it on again.
Oh, yeah.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Bob, are you having a good time down there on the floor? Absolutely. Mary Ellen, are you ready to tear into this cake?
Oh, I am.
Cannot wait for it. And we thank you, the listening audience, for being with us for 11 years. It's been terrific. We thank you, thank you, thank you. And on the count of three, one big happy anniversary. 1, 2, 3. Happy anniversary! Hey, Scott Spears here with the 40th Treasurer of the United States, Mary Ellen Withrow, Terry Tackett, and we are in the vault here in beautiful Green Camp, Ohio, at the Berwick which used to be a bank that I worked at. Mary Ellen did business here. It was Farmer State Bank, National City Bank, the Ohio State Bank. It's been a lot of different things. Do you remember, Mary Ellen, what this bank was when you were here? What it was called?
I think it was National City.
National City back in those days?
Yeah.
Now, Terry Tackett joins us here for the first time in the vault. Terry, I think you and I have done shows from the World Series, the Republican Convention in Cleveland, the Mr. Rogers Stamp Unveiling, WQED in Pittsburgh, the first public broadcast station in the United States. I don't think we've ever done a show from a vault.
No, I think this is the first time I can actually say we've been in a vault. And the only word that comes to my mind right now is just unique. It's a very unique setting.
Now, I don't know. We'll know this later on if this is picking up or not. But there's a little bit of an echo in here.
Yeah.
Because it's a vault.
Yeah.
And, I wonder, as I look at these walls, now nobody can see this from where we're sitting, but the other walls in here are bare, and it's always been that way. There used to be some file cabinets in here, I remember. But being a vault, I wonder if this is concrete.
I bet it is. Yeah. Maybe it's more than that.
Well, that's what I say. These walls, I bet, are very
reinforced concrete.
Might be steel.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think that is, Terry, if you hit that? Because it'd be hard to hang a picture on these walls.
That definitely feels like some sort of like steel or metal or something, behind that.
Now, this is, if you come over here, you really should come over to Green Camp, by the way, to this place, because this is exactly how the bank looked when I worked here. Mary Ellen, does the bank look any different in your mind than when you were here?
Well, I can't. Where did Mr. Haberman sit? I was trying to remember where he sat.
I think his office was right inside the door there to the left.
It was. That's
Yes,
right.
yeah.
Well, everything else pretty much looks the same. You said there was a desk.
There was a teller station.
Yeah.
That the vault that we're in, it came out, it went straight to almost to the door, just enough for a few people to stand, and then it went straight along the front to the wall.
Yeah. Okay.
That's really the only thing missing is that teller station.
Uh-huh.
That's it. And that it really does look exactly the same. And there is an ATM, still a working ATM out in front of the bank here. Mm-hmm. So that must be monitored by somebody. Now, Terry, did you ever come in this bank?
I've never been here before. This is my first time being here, was tonight. But it just to keep the same, the same look and the same mystique and everything of the bank, but then incorporate the new pizza, the banquet room for the pizza into it. It's just phenomenal. I mean.
Now, and I should let people know that we are going, once we tape this episode, we are going to have pizza here in the bank. Mary Ellen, Sean's here running the camera, Terry's here, and we're going to have pizza in the vault. You can eat in the vault, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to have a good pizza here, and then we're going to tape a few commercials that you can see, hopefully during this episode, and we'll tell you how the pizza was after we've sampled it. Mm-hmm. And we've got a new giveaway, by the way, coming up on WGH. You can listen all week long, 8 to 10 a.m. every morning. You can go to the website, wwgh1071.com, or download the free TuneIn app on any mobile device, cell phone, television, whatever you want. Listen 8 to 10 every morning. We're going to ask a trivia question every morning, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Then we're going to take the 5 winners who get the correct answer, and on Friday we're going to put them in a drum, and we're going to draw a name out, and that person will get a free large pizza here at the Berwick. It's going to be the Break the Vault pizza giveaway on WGH, as it should be, Mary Ellen.
Okay.
Now, Terry, what is exciting to you about being in a vault?
Just the remembering of just the money that and the records and from long ago that have actually been in this room. I mean, there could have been some historic documents. There could have been some, obviously lots of money, but.
Mary Ellen, I don't know what year this bank was built, but this is pretty close to the horse and buggy days, I bet.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
So it's amazing to think that there were probably horse and buggies that pulled up out here, and people got off and came in here and got their money, did their banking.
Could be.
Absolutely. Now, Terry, is that machine still out there that we were showing earlier on? Is that still on the table, or did they take that back?
I think they've taken it back, the tabulator.
But there was a tabulator that they found here, and I think one of the addicts, they said, this thing had to be back from the certainly yesteryear.
I thought the guy said he traced it back to 1904.
1904.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was made in Chicago, he said.
100. Boy, that's what 121 years ago. Holy mackerel! So there's all kinds of artifacts over here that exist in this bank. It truly is fascinating. Mary Ellen, were vaults ever worrisome to you? I remember working at the bank, and a lot of people were afraid to get locked in the vault.
Oh, yeah, you don't want to do that.
No, you don't want to be.
I never really worried about that myself. In fact, I didn't go near the vault really when I was state treasurer. It was a big vault, but I wasn't that involved with people out there. Yeah.
Now, where was the vault for the state?
Well, it was when I was on the 9th floor of the Rhodes Tower. 9th and 10th floor was my office, and I was on the 9th floor, and they would get off the elevator, and then the first thing they would see was where they could pay in their money, and we had bulletproof glass put in, and because people were getting shot in banks, and I said, we've got to take care of this right now. And then, of course, previous to me, when my predecessor was there, you know, they had an embezzlement, and the head cashier was taking money and giving it to her boyfriend that had a band, and they weren't doing too well. The band wasn't doing too well. And you know what I thought was really funny was they were taking the highway patrol money.
Well, there you go.
And we had to sign the papers. Of course, it was over with, you know, when I went in, but we had to sign papers for it, and then it was a long time later we had to sign more papers to finalize it. It took all that time.
You know, there always is the unfortunate temptation for people to do things like that.
Yeah.
Not very good. What was the most, we talked about the most stressful moment when you were Treasurer of the United States. What about when you were County Treasurer in Marion? Is there anything that sticks out?
Well, I got a bid from all the banks. Everybody bid the same, so I knew there was some collaboration. And so I moved the money out of Marion County to Delaware.
Oh.
And for 3 months, and then they took another bid for the amount, and it all was all different. So I don't think anybody ever did that.
You had to play hardball with them.
I had to, I had to play hardball a lot because I'll tell you, my predecessors didn't play hardball at all.
Well, you know, that's an interesting question. That's something I don't think we've ever talked about. Would you consider yourself, I mean, you had to have certainly some toughness about you in these positions.
Yeah, right.
Would you consider yourself a tough lady?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did a lot of phone calls to the Attorney General because I didn't do anything that was against the law.
Were you a boss that people, you know, liked you, but yet knew you didn't tolerate fools well?
Yeah, you know, we had a small embezzlement in our county office, and but they didn't. What do they do?
Prosecute?
No, where they test you.
Oh, the lie detector.
Yeah,
polygraph.
they didn't lie detest me. You know, they did everybody else, and I tell you, it's no fun to go through that.
No. You know, we got about 5 minutes left in this episode. Then we're going to get some food here, and again, we'll get those episodes out to you. But Terry, as we sit here, did you ever dream you'd be sitting in a vault in Green Camp, Ohio, with the Treasurer of the United States, when you know you were around Marion when Mary Ellen was coming up and becoming Treasurer of the United States? Did you ever dream one day you'd be sitting in a vault with her?
I never, it never crossed my mind. I
never dreamed.
I never thought in a million years I'd be.
You never thought this day would
I'm
come.
happy to be, but I never thought that. I never thought it would ever.
What question do you have for Mary Ellen?
Just when coming up the ranks as a treasurer, I mean, just I don't know, just kind of walk me through. What was it like? I mean, was it, the day to day? I mean, was like a lot of obviously a lot of transactions, but was there a lot of a lot of actual like paperwork, or was it mostly just dealing with people? Or
There wasn't that much paperwork as in any of those positions. You'd think there would be, but there wasn't. Other people took care of my paperwork.
okay.
The gals out in front, when I was county treasurer, they waited on the people, and then I'd take care of somebody that had a big problem, and I'd tell them to go to the auditor's office.
You didn't want to deal with it.
Right.
Well, it wasn't. I didn't set the amount.
That's right.
I'd tell them. I said the auditor sets the amount. You'll have to talk to them.
Who were the county commissioners in those days?
Well, they were great. In fact, they asked me to come work for them. It was Augustine, and it was Jan Augustine's father-in-law. And
Was it Kirk Moreland?
now he was he was there later on. I don't think I was still county treasurer. I think I was state treasurer when he. I might have still been county treasurer when he came in. I knew him really well. Yeah.
I think Doc Brown was there at one point, wasn't he?
Well, yes. Yeah. He was not in office when I was in office there, but he was there later. And he was an interesting individual, I'll tell you.
We'll run this episode out with him, because now here's a guy in Marion history. He was the superintendent of the Marion City Schools for many, many years. People still talk about him in that position. Then he became a county commissioner. Then he became a city councilman. Then he became the mayor.
Yeah.
This man really got around Marion, Doc
Yeah.
Brown.
Yes, he did.
What
Yeah.
What are your memories of Doc Brown?
Well, I can't really tell you.
Oh, really? Everybody's got that kind of a Doc Brown story.
Yeah.
He was a...
He was a different guy.
Yes, he was.
But he was a nice guy.
Nice guy.
Yeah, and he had a nickname for me. I can't remember what it was. But he was an experience, really.
Well, to Doc Brown, and Doc Brown is no longer with us for many, many years, but I don't even think Mrs. Brown is still around anymore at this point. But
I don't think so.
But I did interview her at one point.
Did
Brown.
you?
I did interview Mrs. Brown.
Really?
And I'll tell you, the only thing I remember, I went to her house, and she was a good interview, but they had an enormous dog. And while I was interviewing her, this dog just kept coming over to me, and this dog was enormous. I thought it was going to eat me during the interview. I thought, that's all I remember. Dorothy Brown. Mrs.
Oh, yes.
Dorothy
yes.
Brown. Nice lady, but the dog was, whoo.
I'm having trouble remembering her. I don't know that I knew her.
She was a passive lady.
Was she?
Yeah, she was kind of a passive lady. But the Doc Brown story, the one everybody remembers, when he was superintendent of schools, he did not like to cancel school.
Oh.
The snow can be 10 foot tall. Well, in those days, you called the radio station to cancel school. That's how you would do it. That was the means of communication. Well, Doc Brown, it was a big snowstorm. I don't know what the year was, but probably in the 50s or 60s. And he said, I am not canceling school today, and I'm going to go down to, if I can get to the radio station, I'm going to go down there and tell them that there is going to be school today for Marion City Schools. Well, the radio station was waiting for Doc Brown to appear, and Mrs. Brown, this brings in Dorothy Brown calls the radio station and says, I think he got stuck in a snowdrift, so he didn't make it that morning. So school was canceled that day. And that's one of those rare occasions where school got canceled. And the other story was a little more serious that Jack Kellogg told me, because Jack Kellogg served as councilman when Doc Brown was mayor. And he succeeded Doc Brown.
Oh.
He was the mayor when Doc Brown left. And Doc didn't want to go.
Oh.
So last time we had Jack on the air, Jack told me that apparently Doc Brown told I can't. Was it the garbage men in Marion to come over and take everything out of the mayor's office and throw it away?
Oh.
And apparently they didn't throw it away, but they didn't leave it there because they knew Doc Brown would be upset. So they went over and they put it on Jack Kellogg's lawn because they knew he was going to be the next mayor.
Oh, that's really funny.
So that's Doc Brown.
Yeah.
Now, is your story in those veins?
It's different.
It's a different story. Different story. Well, maybe we'll talk about it over dinner when the cameras aren't on.
I'm trying to remember. Really, I
had
can't really
his daughter.
remember exactly what
I had his daughter for a teacher.
Oh, did you?
At Taft, yeah, Linda.
And his son has also gotten around. Now, did you have Mr. Rizzo?
No.
That was Mary Ellen's son-in-law.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I had Linda Brown though. As
Linda Brown. And Joanne Casotis also taught at Taft.
Yeah, I had her as a.
Oh, did you?
She was there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how about that? Teachers went on to good things.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a lot of fun sitting here in the vault, Mary Ellen. Have you enjoyed this?
Oh, yes. Yes.
What has this made you think of being in the vault over here in Green Camp?
Well, it's a different vault than what I was used to, but it's neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terry?
A lot of nostalgia, a lot of, just very unique, very.
You know, Mary Ellen, I think as we part here, it's a question I ask a lot of people. I've asked you this before, but who knows, it may be a different answer as we sit in a vault. Years from now, how would you like to be remembered?
Oh, I hope they think kind things.
I don't think there'll be any trouble there. I don't think there'll be any trouble.
I
You
just
won't have to
hope
worry
it's
about
kind things.
Kind thing. But when you look back on your own life, what do you think?
Oh, I think I had a great life.
Yeah.
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 I had wonderful parents, and I had a great husband and a wonderful family, and it was good.
Where does the career fit in there?
Well, the career came about kind of in a strange way, It wasn't planned at all. Who ever thought that would have happened to me,
How important is the career to look back on now?
Well, it was very important. It is very important what I did, but I certainly didn't expect to do anything like that. Yeah.
Certainly did.
No.
And it was a great career.
Yeah.
And still is a great life. Going on, having a good time. Well, we're going to have some pizza here at the Berwick in Caledonia, and we're going to eat in the vault, which is something you can do over here. And again, remember to check out the videos, because after we eat this pizza, we're going to tell you.
Green Camp.
What did I say?
Caledonia.
Did I say Caledonia? Oh, Lord, I had Caledonia on the mind. Well, we'll edit that part out.
Okay.
We're over here in Green Camp, Ohio, and we're going to have some great pizza. But you can go to Caledonia if you want, and have some pizza if you want. They've got some Caledonia joints over there, too. But no vault to sit in. Caledonia doesn't have the vault. You can come to Berwick here in Green Camp and have some. Maybe I went the wrong way to work one day. I was coming to this bank to work, and I went to Caledonia, and I needed to be here in Green
They
Camp.
wondered where you were.
There's always that trouble. The bank opened late that day, and I just kicked the table. For Terry Tackett, 48th Treasurer of the United States, Mary Ellen Withrow, from the vault here in Green Camp at the Berwick, Scott Spears heading for the dugout.